Okay, now this next book um, will almost undoubtedly seem a surprising choice for inclusion in a military history course. So let me explain its relevance in some detail. Just by way of some background, the rebellion, Nat Turner's rebellion, occurred in Southern Virginia in August 1831. It is easily the most famous and among the most violent of slave rebellions in the United States. About 60 whites were killed by Nat Turner and his followers, men, women, children, even infants, and also dozens of African Americans, many of them not involved in the rebellion, who were killed in retaliation after the rebellion itself was crushed. So, with regard to relevance, the rebellion actually does fit into the traditional military history model because it was quelled by state militia, mostly Virginia militia, but also North Carolina militia. The center of the rebellion was within 20 miles of the North Carolina state line. But most importantly, it is an example of a kind of hidden history in the American military experience. That's a term I'll explain later, but also a violent encounter in what I call the borderlands of war, which is to say, types of violence that may not be war, but have features in common with war. The rebellion was arguably an insurgency, quickly crushed, but an insurgency nonetheless. And just by way of making this image of an insurgency more vivid to you, in the French colony of Saint-Domingue in 1791, Saint-Domingue is located on the western side of the island of Hispaniola. A slave rebellion sparked in a way almost identical to the way that Nat Turner's rebellion was sparked, annihilated the French planters, tens of thousands of them, in one of the most successful insurgencies in world history. And once in control of the colony, they established sort of their own government and their own society and so on. And they actually destroyed a French expedition of 30,000 men sent by Napoleon Bonaparte to defeat them. And ultimately, they created Haiti, which was the first Black republic in world history and only the second republic to appear in the Western Hemisphere. So I hope that will give you a strong idea of why this book has been assigned and why we'll be spending an entire week looking at Nat Turner's rebellion. I always hate this part because it just seems so awkward, but I'm about to stop recording. I hope you feel well oriented to these 4 books. All 4 of them, I think, are really easy to read and a pleasure to read. So I hope that you'll enjoy them.